Hi guys, my name is Madison and I am with Oliver Nature Park with Mansfield Parks and Recreation. And today I am going to walk you guys through a craft that I have come up with that uses all recyclable things. I mean, literally most of the stuff I got from the recycle bin other than the picture that I cut out. And so this activity is a collage, and I'm going to probably use Mod Podge, but for you guys at home, there are multiple different things for you guys to use in order to keep you guys safe at home. So for example, I've got this, and this is what we're going to be using to do some of the collage, but you can also use a sponge. Really anything you want to. So as you guys can tell, this is going to be my canvas. It's just a piece of cardboard that I cut out because of course I'm trying to stay safe and stay at home, and so I didn't go out and buy any canvases, but if you have any extra canvases you can use that. And so I'm going to be using a cardboard, just a piece of cardboard. After that, I've printed out a picture of my favorite animal or wildlife. I did another one in my example of a fox, and this one's going to be an opossum. And I think there's going to be an attached document that has different photos for you guys to choose from if you don't want to look stuff up online. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to cut out this little possum. And then I'm going to show you guys what to do if you don't have Mod Podge, because of course this is just going to be what's called decoupage, and decoupage is a fancy word just to mean to glue stuff down and make artwork out of it. And so we're going to be making a collage. So I've got this little guy cut out. And then what I'm going to do is show you guys how to make Mod Podge at home. And so I'm going to take a cup and some water. I think it's like 1 part water to 3 parts glue. Basically, you just want enough water to have it be a little watery so that it can have the consistency to be able to like paint with it. But you don't want it to be too watery, because then it might not dry, or it might mess up some of the stuff. So I don't have like a lot of water in there. Then I'm going to take this Elmer's glue, and if you are at home and you have nothing but glue sticks will work too. But if you do have one of those little containers, because I'm sure you guys don't have one of these, if you just have a little container and screw off the top and pour some of that glue into a cup of, with a little bit of water. There's not a lot of water in there. But that will basically have the same effect. Okay, so after I've got my glue and my water, I'm gonna work on my background. And my background is going to be, this is where it gets really fun with recyclable material. My example is out of paper, craft paper that I already had at my house, and newspaper, that's what it is. So I've got construction paper, printer paper that's different colors, and these are all my favorite colors. And to get a really fun texture, I would recommend tearing. And so for you little ones out there, if you just want to help mom, sister, brother, if you're doing this yourself, that's cool too. We're just going to be tearing up some stuff. This is really really fun if you like to destroy things and you like want to get some energy out and you just want to tear up some strips of paper. Because it's a good way to get out some of that energy. So I'm sure you guys miss recess and you guys want to go and see your friends. So I've got some color strips, and I'm also going to tear up some paper that just has a bunch of words on it too, just because I like that. I like how that looks. That's pretty much all you need. And then I just need enough to be able to fill up my page, my canvas. Then I'm going to take my Mod Podge, mix, and I'm just gonna and then take a piece. It doesn't even have to be fully glued. You just take a piece, slap that on there. I think I need a little bit more water. It's a little bit too gluey. You're able to adjust how much you need. I'm also going to use some of this Mod Podge because it's the best. Actually, that's not open yet. So instead of opening a new thing of Mod Podge, I'm just going to use whatever I've already made. No big deal. That's the fun of it. So then you're going to just paint on top of what you've already put down. Keep just slapping all this glue on there. It's really fun because you're not painting anything, so it's just clear. And so there's no mistakes. There's not even going to be any mistakes if you did make a mistake. It's all going to turn out great. So I'm just going to keep doing this. See, it's just sort of random right now. And it will eventually dry completely clear. So it'll look great. So you put glue underneath and then throw some paper on there and then glue on top of that and just layer it. It'll look really cool. So I'm gonna take my paper that I found in the recycle bin, slap that on there. Because what better way to recycle something than to use it in art? And one of these steps that I'm gonna talk to you guys about is probably going to require drawing for a little bit before you move on. But that's okay because we have time. The video is probably gonna be shorter than the amount of time it takes to dry. But that's okay. So I really like it when my art has texture to it. And this is really fun because when you finish, it's gonna have texture to it. You're gonna be able to see all of the torn edges of the paper. And especially with the background, you just use anything. Construction paper, newspaper, scraps, lots of fun. And of course, I wanted to make something that would have my favorite colors in it. Here's what I got so far. It just looks like a mess, but that's okay. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's a collage. So the joy of making a collage is that you just take a bunch of different things from different areas. Like I'm taking this picture that I've printed out, taking construction paper, taking scraps, taking newspaper, and just getting all of that on there, slathering it up, making art that really does look good. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time on my example, and I just sort of got things that were around the house. And then I stepped back and I looked at it and I was like, wow, that looks really good. So you kids out there are going to be so impressed with yourself because you're gonna be making something that looks so cool. And of course, this is going to relate to nature a little later because as you guys know, one of the things in the supplies list is to have some leaves that you find outside in your backyard. So to get you guys up and moving around, hopefully you guys went out into your backyard and found some leaves, some flowers that maybe fell off, something that we're going to be able to use on this collage, because a collage isn't just about paper. So for me, I could go out right now and I've got a lot of trees in my backyard, a lot of pecan trees. And those pecan trees dropped their leaves, and those leaves are still outside. And I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use them for art. Rip. It's very satisfying to rip something up. I hope you kids at home are having fun ripping up a bunch of paper. So of course I got my decoupage, my Mod Podge glue, and I'm just gluing everything on. And you know what? I think I'm almost done with my background. I might take some tissue squares. I also had extra paper that I was gonna stick on there and use. That's just from the recycle bin. And right now it's like really wet. But in the second part of your craft, you're gonna let it dry. And you're gonna add more stuff to it. So I just got some tissue paper squares that I found. I'm gonna add that because we just like a little bit of razzle dazzle. And of course, I can honestly, since it's so wet on my canvas, I can honestly just throw this down. Do that, and you're gonna take your sponge or your brush. Of course, you can use a normal brush too. Everything in the supplies list, other than glue, you can definitely do at home. So, this is what I have so far. It already kind of looks pretty good, but I'm gonna make it even better because I'm gonna add my little possum friend, and that's why it's a nature craft, is because of course we're gonna add this guy, and we're gonna add those leaves and flowers, maybe some weeds that you found that were on the ground. We don't want to pick up flowers that are still attached because we want our pollinator friends, our bees and our butterflies, to be able to still pollinate. So I just threw this guy onto my paper, which is already wet, and then I'm gonna paint over it even more. Uh-oh, got some tissue paper on you. By this point, it's probably getting really messy for you guys at home, but there's my possum. He's really cute. And then since I have some extra on my my picture of the opossum, I'm going to just put it on there. And guess what? If you're at home and you don't have a printer or you don't have any pictures that you can use, try going through and seeing if you have any leftover magazines and stuff like that. So for this one, I have a leftover Mansfield Parks and Recreation magazine. So let's say that I don't have a printer at home, but I did find a picture in a magazine. I'm going to print out, or I'm going to cut out this dog. And I'm going to put him on there with my opossum just so I can show you guys at home that you can use different pictures and cut out different things to add to your collage, and it will look great. So This was on the front of the magazine. You can see on the back it's got some stuff on there. And I'm just going to slap that puppy down. This literal puppy. And then I'm going to slap some glue on top of him. And it'll slide around a little. It's going to slide a lot. Make sure I'm squeezing out what I can out from that sponge brush. So, if you guys are out of ink, you guys have printers, you don't need to go anywhere because you can definitely find an animal or even a picture of your family to put on there. So there's that puppy. And I think since this is a Mansfield, I am going to cut out this Mansfield Parks and Recreation logo because of course I want it to be memorable to you guys. So I'm gonna put my little Mansfield on the front. And this stuff takes a little bit to dry. So the later steps is just doodling and painting on top of your collage that you've made. And so what you'll probably want to do is take a hairdryer, if you're impatient, or just wait for it to dry, take a hairdryer, blow on it, blow on it, blow on it, and then you can continue on with your craft. So what we can do is add in our nature elements that we went and found in our backyard. So hopefully you guys went on a walk and you found some things. I found some dandelion leaves, some tree leaves. I found this flower, the little baby flower. And then I found some other stuff that's naturey. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do what we've been doing this whole time, and we're going to just lather it in our Mod Podge glue, which I actually am gonna have to make more of. So, I'm gonna take this and look at where I could put it. Then I'm gonna say, this looks really good. Put that down. This is gonna be a little bit harder to glue than paper. You're gonna put that down and you're just gonna hold it down and make sure you absolutely get it covered in glue. And then you wanna let that sit and dry because otherwise it might move around too much. So I'm gonna take my flower, put that down, and I'm gonna put my sponge on top of it and just cover it in glue. And remember, especially if you're using white glue, your glue is gonna dry clear. So here's my leaf. I'm just gonna hold it down while I get all that glue on it. And it's okay if it doesn't like lay down flat all the way. You might even be able to layer stuff over the parts that won't go down flat. To my other leaf. Get some more glue. Absolutely lather it. You guys at home will probably want to use a tablecloth. Okay, I've got a few more leaves that I'm going to add. I really liked going out into my backyard and looking for what I could find because I've been stuck inside and it was so nice outside yesterday. Did you guys get to see how nice outside it was yesterday after it's been raining? So since it was so nice outside, I just have to like make something as a memory. I'm gonna cover that in glue, and then I'm gonna take this last one. I have one more. I'm just gonna cover that in glue too. There. Okay, now that everything's covered in glue, this is the best part. This is the part where we wait. We wait, and you can also keep layering stuff just over on top of each other, over and over. If you kids really like putting glue on everything, then just like have a field day tearing stuff and lathering on it over and over. It's gonna look so good at the end. It really will. So I'm gonna show you guys what I've come up with so far since you're looking at it from upside down. It's really wet. But this is what I've got, and it looks so cool. And all of this stuff I found like in the recycle bin, including my canvas. So that's what it looks like so far. I'm just gonna smooth out some things. Make sure these leaves are on there really good. And then I'm going to come back and finish this once it is dried. All right, hey guys, we're back. All right, hey guys, we're back with a much drier project. My project is nice and dry now, not all the way, but it was a really nice day outside today, and so I left it out and I let it dry. So this is what I have. So for this next step, parents, if you want to go let your craft dry out in the sun or use a hair dryer, we're gonna move on now to our painting step. And so this step is gonna be really fun because you can do whatever you want to. But for me, I'm going to do like my example, and I am going to make an outline of my critter head, and then I'm going to maybe outline the leaves that I added to my collage. And so we're gonna do that. So I chose purple, because purple is one of my favorite colors, and it's one of my school colors. And I'm just going to do a little outline around this guy, and I'll do an outline around the dog too. Okay, here we go. And parents, this part is optional. If you don't have paint at home, you're probably not gonna be able to get paint. So, instead, you can just do the doodling part after. And watercolor will work too, watercolor paints. This paint's a little clumpy, trying to get it to go around my little possum here. And of course, if you don't have paint brushes, but you have paint, you know, I'm just trying to prepare for every single scenario that you guys might be through, not being able to go out and get anything. So if you have paint and you can't find a paintbrush, just finger paint. You kids like finger painting. That's fun. It's messy, but it's fun. And if you haven't made a mess by now already, then you might be doing it wrong. I'm kidding. It's always good to try and be a little clean. While I let this dry, I cleaned up a bit. So check out how that looks, huh? Now I'm gonna go ahead, and you see my leaves that I glued down? I'm gonna go ahead and paint little outlines around those too. How fun. This one's really fun because we're painting over a bunch of different textures and layers. So I've got a layer of tissue paper, construction paper, and the printed out pieces of paper that I all tore up. There's many different layers, and it's gonna be really fun because once it's all completely dry, you're gonna be able to put your hands over it and feel all the different textures. That's really fun. Okay, so let's see what we have so far. You can choose one color or as many colors as you want. So there's mine. And that looks pretty good so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm done with the paint. But I'm going to move on to the really fun part, and this is especially fun if you guys didn't have any paint and didn't get to participate in that part. The next part is just doodling. It's just like your imagination, and in some cases you can even doodle over the leaves that you glue down, especially if you're using Mod Podge. It gets it sealed really nicely. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write opossum on it somewhere, and then I'm just gonna do a bunch of like swirls and hearts and stars and anything I want. You can even trace your hand, do a bunch of lines, zigzags, just get really into it. It's really fun. So I'm going to first actually doodle, doodle, doodle. Write your name, write your friend's name, draw all over this, because that's what gives it the best effect of looking really crazy and really cool. I just added a bunch of zigzags around that doggy. And then I'm going to write over here, I'm gonna write opossum. And then around what I wrote, I'm gonna do a bunch of like zigzags. I wrote it on the side there, opossum. I'm gonna do some swirls over in this corner. What is y'all's favorite shape? Because y'all can have that too. I'm gonna do some X's. Gonna do some hearts. Still not completely dry. Maybe I will draw on my opossum and put a heart on his head. Then I'm gonna do some stars, more hearts. Maybe I'll write my name somewhere. You could just even like draw a bunch of lines. That's what I'm doing. And then go across. All right, that's that for that blue. And have you guys gone crazy? Because I went a little crazy there. Bunch of doodles. I'm gonna take another color and add even more doodles. And once it's when it's completely dry, if you want to be really patient, you can doodle over the areas that might be too wet to doodle right now. Flower. And then I could even write like March 2020 on it, because that's the date. And it's all part of the artwork. Heart, 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 star. Doodle, doodle, doodle. And I think I am just about done. There's the finished product. I Thank you guys so much, and please post down in the comments below what you were able to make once it's all nice and dry. I am so excited to see what you guys make. Here's the one that I made before. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun crafting at home.